Hey guys, so the name is Newfound King. I decided I wanted to try some Reddit reading videos, so here we go. So the first post I want to do is titled, When the Big Bad Evil Guy Was Considered a Legendary Hero. Backstory. I was in a group that were a bunch of murder hobos, and the DM always tried to stop us by doing things like banning them from shops and blacksmiths, using milestones, sending mercenaries and bounty hunters, making them international fugitives. Mind you, this is a good campaign. The big bad evil guy, evil tyrant banished to hell that came back, was considered a hero after he killed 3 out of 5 party members. The story. When we started the campaign, what happened was the lawful evil big bad evil guy came back from his hellish prison in, hell. When he escaped, he started to wipe the world's life by randomly transforming water to blood or plants just dying. The players tracked him down. They had killed around 14 town mayors, burned down about 3 to 4 cities, and caused a purge. But anyways, when they started fighting the big bad evil guy, my rogue monk and the wizard druid knew they couldn't win. DM let us roll perception. So only the wizard and I escaped while the rest of the party died. Then when the big bad evil guy came to town with an army and the revived party, he had liches and necromancers on his team. They were going to invade the nearby city known as the capital. The Emperor walked out and congratulated him. And then guess what? Just so the DM could piss us off, he said the Emperor of the world, who didn't have an heir, gave the big bad evil guy the throne. And when the wizard and rogue monk were banished to hell, they lived a long time, as the wizard was an elf and a druid, and I was a monk. We lived for a really long time. Even though we only spent a few months in hell, the next campaign took 400 years after the last one. The DM ended up adding flintlocks, muskets, and airships. The other players made characters, but the wizard druid and I kept ours. We then launched into a really big boss fight with the big bad evil guy. One of us died, the wizard druid, and the rest ran. And later that week we ended up finding out that the Emperor was riding through the streets in a carriage that had no roof, and he kinda went bam after we sniped him. Well, turns out, in those 400 years, the big bad evil guy became a really nice guy who saved puppies, shelters, and turned orphanages where people could get coffee while their kids played with the orphans. So he was like the greatest leader of all time. He was the pedophile beating, puppy loving, orphan adopting, really nice emperor. He alone was really smart, so he didn't tax anyone to pay the military because the funeral style was having the body given to him for him to revive to use the body to use as a soldier. So he didn't have to pay them. So he was a really nice guy, and we killed him. We never murder hoboed again. I thought this was a really nice story. Just the interesting twist ending and everything like that, how the big bad evil guy kind of like grew and changed. Probably a big twist for the players that they didn't expect. I think the most important thing between DMs and players is that, they get along, they have fun. It seems like at the beginning this was established as a good campaign, so it seemed like the DM wanted to try and tell a story while the players just kind of wanted to go and murder hobo and kill everything in sight. So I think that is an important thing to make sure you guys understand between your players and your DM. And don't get me wrong, it's fun to have a murder hobo party, as long as it's agreed upon between the DM and the players. But yeah, on to the next post. So this next post is called The Ninja Paladin. I was reminded of a game I played a while back last night when I used Misty Step on my Oath of the Ancients Paladin. From here on out, OOTA. It was of a game a few years back about another Oath of the Ancients Paladin. We were trying to catch a criminal running through a crowded festival. The rogue and ranger both failed their acrobatics check to get around the crowd, and we were about to lose the guy. Until the paladin decided he wanted to use a Misty Step spell to get on the rooftops and then use his full movement to get up parallel with the guy. He ended his turn there and then. Round continued. The rest of us were struggling to get through the crowd, while the criminal and the paladin kept going until finally, sick of the game of cat and mouse, he decided his best course of action was to leap off the roof and land on top of the guy as soon as he was outside of the crowd. He passed his checks and apprehended the perpetrator completely on his own. It's short and relatively uneventful, but it's good for a little chuckle, I suppose. I just hope I get the opportunity to do something similar with my paladin. I really love stories where players get that I did this moment kind of thing, and it's really cool to hear. It's really cool when you get to see it at your own table, where the player gets the spotlight and the dice work perfectly just for that moment. It's honestly amazing to see, and yeah, even though this was a short, uneventful kind of story, it was nice to hear about someone else's I did it moment kind of thing. So yeah. I know this is going to be kind of a little hidden video, but thank you anyone who actually spent the time to watch all the way through. The music will be down in the description, I guess. The links to the post will be down in the description. And yeah, have a good day or night.